Welcome back, everyone. Perseverance pays. I'm about to hike the White Rocks Trail in Boiling Springs, Pennsylvania. According to AllTrails, it says 2.8 miles, but AllTrails can be a little off, so I'm gonna set my tracker to see. This trail goes up about 500 feet, and I'll be ridge walking across a rocky mountain ridge, and this will take me up to Center Point Knob on the Appalachian Trail, and then I will be hiking back. The last two times I hiked this trail was early spring before there were any leaves on the trees, and there were some really awesome views. So we'll see what kind of views I get on the trail with all the leaves. And as you can see behind me, the parking lot, there's quite a few people out here. So let's get on the trail. So I made it to the top. There's still some elevation, but I made it up the big climb. I came from here and going this way. And it's, as you can see, I'm on a ridge. And I'll be ridge walking all the way to the Appalachian Trail in Center Point Knob. So this is the trail. I'm not going to try to record while climbing it because I need both hands. I came from that way. Whew. Beautiful breeze though. It's hot and humid, but in the shade there's a really, really nice breeze. And I was right there. The leaves are blocking the views, but it's still a beautiful, beautiful trail. So right now, I'm at a place where I have two options. This is an arrow. I can go this way, or, excuse me, a bug just flew in my mouth. I can go up this way. And let me get a drink. So I have done this section before. So I am gonna go up this way so I can get a video and views from the top. And then when I come back, I'll take this route. So I obviously got to put my phone away and just not even use my trekking poles. I'm gonna have to use my hands to climb up there. I'm about halfway up. Came up through here. A little bit of a view. Probably have a better view once I'm on top. So I'm standing on top. Beautiful view. Looks like somebody left some rappelling equipment there. So what I'm going to do though, because I ate a really good breakfast this morning, but it was about 7:30 when I ate, and now it's 20 minutes to 12. I'm gonna take about 10 minutes and eat a Cliff Bar before I continue on to Center Point Knob. That breeze feels amazing. Okay, one last pan of this view. And I'm gonna continue on and climb down off of this big rock. It's one area I actually had to sit on my butt and slide down to get down safely, but this is the trail down here. I'm not using my trekking poles much. And I made it down safely. I came from there, came down through here. A couple areas again, I had to sit down. So, and now I'm gonna continue to head this way. It was definitely easier climbing up than it was climbing down. But I'll go around that on the way back. So here's another climb I'm gonna do. I'm not even a mile in yet. Pretty close to it though. This trail is very slow moving because there's a lot of rock scrambles and climbs, but it's also a lot of fun. Okay, I made it through there. Continuing on. So I just came down that. So for those of you that are in this area and you enjoy hiking, but you don't want to climb the rocks, there are trails that bypass the climbing. So if you're just into the hike itself and not climbing the rocks, you can take the path around. Now you will be hiking over rocks like this, but this is ridge walking across the rocks. You won't be actually climbing boulders. On the way back, I'm gonna go around, but I do enjoy the climbing. So the hardest section of the rocks is over, until I go back, obviously. One of the things you want to remember, especially if you're climbing boulders and you got to use your hands, you want to be aware because there are venomous snakes. I always listen for a rattle and then I always watch where I put my feet and try to look ahead on the trail. And if I'm using my hands to climb up or down boulders, I always look before I just put my hands down. So I have been hiking and backpacking in South Central Pennsylvania for 10 years. And in that 10 years, I've only seen one copperhead. It was at the Alec Kennedy shelter in the fire pit, and that was in 2023. So just because you don't see them on a regular basis doesn't mean they're not out here. One mile in, and it's taken me over an hour. I think it was like an hour and 23 minutes to do that mile. And that is not including my break. There's just a lot of areas where you just have to go slow so you don't get hurt. I'm sure somebody in much better shape than me and younger than me could do it a lot faster. But I don't need to get hurt. I'd rather take my time than try to speed up and hurt myself, and that takes me off the trail permanently. So I was wrong about the rocks being over. It's been about 2 years since I've done this trail, and I know that there's a pretty cruisy section of the trail just before it comes out on the Appalachian Trail, and I thought that was it, but I was wrong. But I know we gotta be pretty close. So this is the cruisy section of the trail that I thought was back there a little ways. I love walking on trail under pine trees because the pine needles, the ground is so soft. Feels good on your feet. Okay, so we're coming out onto the Appalachian Trail. There's the camp. And there's White Blaze. So if you continue this way, that will take you to the Alec Kennedy shelter, and then this way up to the top of the ridge right there, that is Center Point Knob. So I'm climbing up to Center Point Knob. See you at the top of the mountain. Okay, I'm at Center Point Knob. Came from down there, and I will hike back that way when I'm done. I'm gonna take a break here, get something to eat. If you look through there, that's Boiling Springs. So I'm gonna sit here and get something to eat and rest. My big climbs are done for the day. Small elevation over the boulders, but I'll be going down the mountains this time. Okay, so I'm leaving Center Point Knob, getting back on trail. While I was eating my snack, a guy came up with his dog, chocolate lab named Fitz. Sweet dog. Love to give kisses. So, but he said that he lives about 5 minutes from the trailhead of the White Rocks Trail. So he's on this trail all the time. And he was telling me that there are a lot of interconnecting trails. I know there was a section near the trailhead the White Rocks Trail, where it looks like a trail continues, but there's no markings or blazes. So, and as I was, you know, during my backpacking here on the Appalachian Trail in this area, I've seen a lot of what looked like trails, but again, unmarked and no blazes. So I never looked into it. I thought just maybe they were access trail for the trail clubs. I wasn't sure. So I did find out during my day hike to Kennedy from Whiskey Springs that there is a way to get to the Boy Scout camp in Dillsburg, Camp Tuckahoe from here. But this guy was telling me that even though they're not marked or blazed, if I do some research on the AllTrails app, it'll pull up the maps of them, and that there are a ton of trails that intersect and this whole area. So looks like I've got some research to do, because I am always looking for new trails to explore. I mean, I love this trail, you know, the White Rocks Trail. I love the Appalachian Trail, and I've hiked this section more times than I can count. I know it like the back of my hand, and I will always love this trail, but it's always nice to explore something new. So, got some research to do. So, and being a downhill, it shouldn't take me quite as long to get back as it took me to get here. But it's also not a race. I'm just out here enjoying the day and enjoying nature and this beautiful day that God has given us. There we go. Just wanted to stop here for a second. Film down there in the mountain. I don't know if the camera is doing it justice. It's just so pretty, so peaceful. Oh, other than the train, so but it's still beautiful. It'd be so cool to look down there and see a bear. I would love to see a bear at a distance, of course. I'm at 2 miles. AllTrails is probably pretty close with the 2.8. We'll see once I get back to the car. And if that's the case, I have less than a mile. So this is the end of the ridge hiking. And now I'm just gonna hike down the mountain to the parking lot. So I'm hiking down the mountain, and way back in the distance there, I heard a tree fall. So I'm just hiking down. Oop. Some rocky sections, but the closer I get to the parking lot, the less rocky it gets. I just heard a second tree fall. I mean, it's breezy, but it's not windy. So that's it for this hike. Right now I'm just soaking in the air conditioning. So White Rocks Trail, Boiling Springs, Pennsylvania. AllTrails said 2.8. My tracker said 2.9. I'm not sure if AllTrails counts going up to Center Point Knob, so I guess it was pretty accurate. So I've had some hikes where the AllTrails seemed a little off when I tracked it, unless my tracker's wrong. So, but anyways, it was a great day. It was a little hot and humid, but thankfully we had a nice breeze. So anyways, until next time, thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share. Happy hiking, and I'll see you on the trail.